Hey guys, it's Virginia Schmitz from Divinity School coming at you guys from my cabin here in Cody, Wyoming. And I hope that you like our friend who is with us. I'm taking suggestions for names or channelings of her name. Beautiful, I don't know, what would we say? Shaman? What is the word? Kunyadera? But she's clearly like, this is sacred and holy. And I found her, she found me at a thrift store in Arizona when I was there recently. This is Peter, for those of you who haven't seen some of my videos with him. So he will be joining me. I wanted to talk to you guys about, this is eventually going to culminate in a Louise Hay affirmation that I'm totally coming back to. But for those of you who haven't heard of this book, and those of you who are into ACIM, A Course in Miracles, so gifts from A Course in Miracles, I would highly recommend checking this out. Accept this gift, a gift of peace, a gift of healing, edited by Francis Vaughn, PhD, and Roger Walsh, MD, PhD, and forward by our good friend Marianne Williamson. So today, which I've been doing a lot lately, and I've talked about this in some of my other videos, I've just been asking for guidance and then feeling the book that pulls to me and, allowing myself to open to the page that has the message. So this is just a little sort of segment that I'll read for you guys. To heal, then, is to correct perception in your brother and yourself. The reestablishing of meaning in a chaotic thought system is the way to heal it. It is but your thoughts that bring you fear, and your deliverance depends on you. What I see reflects a process in my mind, which starts with my idea of what I want. I can be hurt by nothing but my thoughts. I can be hurt by nothing but my thoughts. And I just want to stop there because that's it, right? Is that coming back to consciousness, coming back to presence and full acceptance and observation of how we're feeling. And if we are feeling hurt, a synonym for that being weak, fearful, right? Rather than loved, strong, loving, joyful. If we are feeling hurt, that's our thoughts that are hurting us. It's the way that we're interpreting the situation. And this goes right back to Epictetus again. It's not the things that are bad, but the way that we look at them. And so just continuing to come back to consciousness, because we can be rewriting our narratives on the fly, you guys. And the more conscious we become, the more we're doing that. Like Joe Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza, for those of you out there who haven't heard of him, go on a little YouTube journey, my friend, because Joe Dispenza is what's up. And he has many books, but Becoming Supernatural is one of his most famous ones. But anyway, Joe Dispenza talks about how when we're not present, when we're not coming into the present moment, we're running on an unconscious program. We're running on this is a good reason to come into the present moment, when you feel a paw land on your leg, right? So when we're not coming back to the present moment, when we're not coming back to where am I seeing from? Like, what is my lens right now? Where is my mind at? And coming back to like full consciousness in that, when we're not doing that and coming back to the present moment and present awareness, we're running on an unconscious program. So we get carried away, right? And I keep noticing it with myself. It's like we get carried away in these narratives, and there's drama, and there's, people attacking us, and people we can't trust, and all of these things. And then it's like, wait, no one can hurt me, that which I really am. No one can hurt my inner experience except my own thoughts. And for those of you who are into Viktor Frankl, right, Man's Search for Meaning, among many other books and essays, who was a famous psychology professor who survived. I believe he was in Auschwitz, but he was definitely in a Nazi concentration camp. He was Jewish for many years and wrote these sort of he came up, it's a lot like, and A Course in Miracles talks about this, right? It's a lot like Jesus dying on the cross, honestly, in the way that it's like, okay, let's come up with the most heinous thing that could possibly happen. Someone, physically hanging and crucifying you on a cross, someone putting you in Auschwitz. And these people are still going to tell us, no matter what they do to me on the outside, they can't control my thoughts. They can't control my inner experience. I can choose to forgive. I can choose to take responsibility and come back to consciousness to respond in love, to be writing a narrative of love. So nothing can hurt me but my thoughts. Nothing can hurt me but the hurtful way, the fearful way, the love-lacking way in which I am interpreting it. And when I read this earlier, I just felt such a sense of relaxation in that moment. What the phrase that came to mind was that my armor dropped off. Going out into the world and, right now part of what I'm doing is managing a barn and horse operation out here in Cody, Wyoming, where I grew up. And there's a lot of factors. There's many people involved. There are many animals involved. There are facility, there's a lot going on. And again, when we get caught up in the illusion, right, we can start to think that other things can hurt us. And this goes to that extreme. It's okay, if Jesus forgave the people who hung him on the cross, or Viktor Frankl forgave the Nazi guards, who killed most of his family, and not even just forgave them, became friends with them and inspired them, kind of thing, with Viktor Frankl, and same with Jesus, right, with those who were hated. But if they aren't hurt by those things, what could hurt me? What could keep me from being loving if there are people who can be loving in the face of such circumstances? And A Course in Miracles kind of talks about this being the point of the crucifixion. It's you can't come up with anything worse than this. This happened, and Jesus still acknowledged that they couldn't, and not that he didn't have his fear, which we all go through, but he still acknowledged at the very end, that they couldn't really hurt him. And in that thought, in that knowing of his oneness with God and of his immortality, he was saved. He was redeemed, as we all will be. But so this is just, nothing can hurt me but my thoughts. And so again, if I just keep coming back to the conscious moment, if I'm feeling hurt, if I'm feeling anxiety, if I'm feeling weak, fearful, then it's just examining and observing the thought and changing it. And for me, because, it's probably true then, right? Nothing can empower you but your thoughts. Just as far as what you're receiving is what you're tuning into, So this is a good one. And I can't remember if I've talked about this on a video or not, but I have told so many friends about this. So I love Louise Hay. I love You Can Heal Your Life. She has therapy sessions you can do with her on YouTube. If you Google, Louise Hay healing session and therapy session, and there's so much out there for free. And Louise Hay is a big mentor and sort of fairy godmother of mine, I would say. Bless her, as she blesses me with her expression. And this was in a therapy session that I watched. So she said, and I have done this, but I'm coming back to it now because I've noticed myself giving that, acting as if others can hurt you or approve of you. You know what I mean? One way or the other, and feeling like you have to have that armor going out to prove yourself, rather than saying, this is the mantra, I approve of myself. the mantra or affirmation. And what Louise Hay said about this, so it's I approve of myself. Now watch yourself, I'm just curious, and see if you remember this mantra to be able to start practicing it. I've had a few people in my life, like 3, my mom and 2 friends, come back to me and say, gosh, I just can't remember it. I keep trying to do it, but I can't remember it. It's like, isn't that interesting? There's that much resistance to approving of yourself, to realizing that it's your approval, it's your thoughts that, hurt or build you up, that give you life experience through the lens of fear or through the lens of love. So Louise Hay talks about how if we say, I approve of myself 500 times a day, and I know that's a lot, it seems like a lot, but as she says, she's like, oh yeah, that seems like a lot, but you can have a fear thought thousands of times a day, and that's like perfectly normal, when we obsessively. So 500 times a day, it's not that much. You can say it out loud, you can say it in your head, when I was in Guatemala, I would say it in Spanish and in English. What is it? Is it me apruebo? Actually, I can't remember. You guys, my Spanish is getting a little rusty, so time to get back to practicing. But I approve of myself. I think it's me apruebo, but I'm not sure. If anyone speaks Spanish out there or has Google Translate, obviously I didn't say it enough. But so if you say this 500 times a day for a month, your whole life will change. That's Louise Hay saying. And I mean, I can honestly say, yeah, it was, in fact, I'm not sure, I'm sure actually, yes, that it correlates with me creating Divinity School. That's funny, right? That, I probably began this YouTube channel and everything about Divinity School, and I don't know, putting myself out there for real, giving what I have to give, giving what I have been given, after doing thousands and thousands of I approve of myself affirmations. And we come to that, right? It to me, it just connects right in with nothing can hurt me but my thoughts. No one can approve of me but me. It's my lens of approval that shines. It's my lens of approval of myself and of everything. It's my lens of approval that from which I look out to approve or disapprove, right? So if I approve of myself, then my thoughts are going to build me up in approval, right? And then things are literally going to manifest in our outer world that just reflect that inner belief. So, and again, with the, you can do energy crossing sort of, cross the legs, cross the arms. We've talked about reprogramming the subconscious, but just crossing energy meridians or even connecting different chakra centers with this. You can do 3 breaths or 10 affirmations of I approve of myself, connecting my electromagnetic heart chakra center, my heart mind with my gut mind, getting that heart gut coherence. And then maybe I want to get heart brain coherence with the right hand here. And then maybe I want to switch it here. And then maybe I want gut, solar plexus, head, crown, intuition, third eye coherence. Maybe I want so you can bring this I approve of myself. This is something that I'm mixing together different energy things and telling you guys what I'm doing. So I know it's really just all about where we bring our consciousness, right? So this is just really engendering and facilitating presence, embodiment, and again, embodiment, it just helps to get, we're always so much up in our head. So bringing that, or even just to the heart, and maybe with our nice little butterfly cross here, I really like to do this in a little tapping. I approve of myself. I approve of myself. I approve of myself. You can join me if you want. I'm going to switch hands too. I approve of myself. I'm going to look up at my third eye. I approve of myself. I approve of myself. Maybe I'll give myself a little hug. Ooh. So I approve of myself and I approve of you. And why not try it, you guys? Back to our experiments with truth. And why not journal about it and see what happens? Why not test it out? If not for a month, for a week, for one day. And just noting, I wonder if that was connected. I had this glimpse that I approve of myself in this affirmation. I planted this seed, and what's the fruit that comes? What's the confirmation? What's the manifestation in the exterior world? So anyway, I love you guys. Happy weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Remember, nothing and no one can hurt you or love you, really, but your own thoughts. That is the energy, frequency, channel, lens, perspective through which you experience everything, is that inner thought wave, that inner, what's the word? Frequency, that inner frequency that you're on. Wow. Look at that. And look how it's shining with her. Yeah, that's special. I approve of myself. I approve of myself. I approve of myself. And thus, I approve of my world. Blessings.